some of you probably know Rob. If we've got some folks on from our Maryland office, you have known Rob or have certainly met Rob over the years. And for those of us in our Delaware location, Rob is a new face to you all. And as I talked about this morning at our sales meeting, at our wards, you may remember those brochures and that sample postcard that I had as samples. Those were done by Rob's company. So Rob and I met either just prior to that, and then we've kind of continued to meet after that virtually and kind of put this program together, and with Tracy's help and now just recently Dawn's jumped in. So I'm going to let Rob take us through the presentation to you all as agents so that you can see kind of where to go to do some of your marketing pieces as well as your transaction service related items.
Awesome. Thank you, Bridget. Let me click down here and share my screen. And come over here, and I'm going to make the assumption that everyone can see my screen now. Dandy. So again, for those of you who haven't met me, I see some folks on here that I do know. Good morning or good afternoon, Miss Kim. I see you in there. My name's Rob Blakely, so I'm with Prism, Prism Digital. So we've been working with your Maryland office for quite a while, actually throughout the entire lifespan that it's been Keller, and then prior to that, some of those folks that were with the Mark Fishley Group, as well as some other folks in Ocean City. Bridget and I started working together, as she mentioned, prior to the zombie outbreak that we're currently all dealing with. My company has created and hosts marketing portals that allow agents to go in and be able to create customized marketing materials for their just listed, their just sold open houses, as well as signage and business cards and lots of other things. What we worked with Bridget to do is create you a platform that allows you to request marketing services, to have someone on your internal staff actually build those pieces for you, as well as to request transaction services. So essentially to have some administrative and some coordination help with all of those pieces, and it's facilitated through our system. And then the folks on your internal team, at least for the marketing side of this, right now it's Dawn, as I understand, will go in and actually build those marketing pieces for you based on your requests. And then Tracy will actually go in, take the information that you've submitted, and she'll manage your transaction services. The screen you see up in front of you, don't worry about, I'll tell you what the URL is, but don't worry about writing this down right this moment. Sometime later on this afternoon or this evening, I'm going to send everyone on the agent roster an email. In that email will be the link to get to this site, as well as your username and your password. If you've already been set up in our system, we're not going to overwrite your password. So if you've already been logged into our site, your existing password will still work. For everyone else, you'll get your login, your password, as well as that link in an email from me later on this evening. So there's a couple different ways to get to our site. It is programs.kwmarketingcenter.com, which will be in that email I'm going to send you. For those of you that have been to our regular marketing site, the kwmarketingcenter.com, you'll be able to get to the same place under programs as well. Only for the folks associated with your Maryland and Delaware offices, they'll see that a link for the Maryland Delaware program. Other offices that I work with won't, but so you can get to it a couple different ways. I'm going to share the direct link that brings you here in the email. When you get here, you'll see a series of tiles. You'll see our just listed and just sold program. Bridget has graciously offered to help me work through dealing with Bright. We have an automated program, in which I won't go into a great amount of detail right now. We have an automated program that grabs the MLS information for your new listings or your new closed listings, and we automatically build marketing collateral for you. As soon as we get that Bright connection done, we can then offer that to you, to all the agents as well. Our Easy Farm program, which is essentially an automated marketing program, which again, I'll probably offer a separate webinar on that. It allows you to build 6 months or years worth of farming marketing, for example, schedule when you want it to go out, and it just automatically happens for you. So we'll do a separate webinar on that at another date. What we're here to talk about today is the Delaware, Maryland Marketing Center. So once you log in, click right on that. And it's going to bring up a series of choices. And I'll display the choices, and we'll go actually dive into one. So we've got C2C transaction services. We've got listing transaction services. We've got print marketing package. And we've got a bundle, a package that includes both listing services and marketing services bundled together. We've got some little filters. So if you know you're going to come in and you only want to do the print piece of this, you've already managed the transaction services, you can filter to just print. Or if you know you just want to do the listing transaction services, you can filter for just that. The last choice I have, which I will go into when we've shown the other ones, is a special request, because at the end of the day, there's probably other things that you may want that are not what we've rolled out initially. One of the things that you'll hear me say that we've, working with Bridget and Tracy and the team, we've put together some things that we think we're going to cover the majority of the needs to get us started. As we look at and we keep track of special requests that go on, this platform and the offerings from it can and most likely will expand. So let's go into C2C transaction services first. So what we're going to do here, this is based on information that your team, Tracy specifically, shared with us of the information she needs to collect to be able to manage these services for you. We've got, due to, and I'm really picking on Tracy, she's, through her wonderful creative writing skills, she gave us a nice description over here of what's offered in this. And the idea is that Bridget and the Keller team has made these services available to allow you to do what you're all best at, getting out there and interacting with folks and actually moving the properties. So whether it's this or the print marketing pieces, it's kind of like give us the information that we need, and then let Tracy, or if it's marketing stuff, let Rob and his team take care of it for you. So order description. So generally, and this is what information I've learned, we're going to look at putting in the property address as your order description. Because you've logged into the site, anywhere that it's going to ask for information as part of your profile, we're going to pre-fill that for you, so you don't have to rewrite that. So I've logged in, it's going to pull in my contact information. If there's a team, you can put that in here. Representing, whether you're, say, buyer. And I'm not going to make you watch me try to type in multiple things here, but the attorney name and contact. So it's essentially it's an electronic version of a paper form. So continue filling out this information. If there's a co-broker, was a deposit received? Green sheet. Preferred home inspection company. A transaction fee is, say, $200. This is any special circumstances that you need Tracy to be aware of as she's managing these services for you. And then your last chance, or not last chance, your last set of notes. So this is essentially a notes field. This is anything you're going to want to communicate to Tracy prior to her beginning to work on this. You know, if there's, please call me about something. So after we've completed the form, all our fields are filled out that are required. You can do a couple things. I can progress through the order. If my phone rings and I've got to go take that, if I hit the save button, it'll save this in the drafts for me, so I don't have to re-enter this when I come back in later. So you can always get most of it done and come back and finish it at another time. You can delete it. We'll go next. So here there's some disclaimer text that was given us that the agent is still responsible for the contract along with any and all legal requirements. You agree with these? Add to cart. So understand that my platform, the system, is not charging you for anything at this point. So there's no financial transaction as it relates to my portal. I'm collecting the information. I'm moving that information over to the person that needs to get it on your team. Transaction services are billed internally with Keller. So your agent account will get charged for the services. And if you notice, and I'll go back into it, there's a fee schedule for each one of these services as you go into them. But you're not paying to use this portal. So I've got my 123 Any Street transaction services. And place order now. Once you do that, a couple things happen. It shows up in your own order history that you have requested transaction services for 123 Any Street. On your team, Tracy will get an email that you have requested transaction services for 123 Any Street. She also has a portal that she'll log into that she can then see and print out or read all the information that you've entered in there and allow her to start in that process. And there is, pop that open real quick. And this is your confirmation email that you will get, that you've requested transaction services for 123 Any Street. You saw me mention that there's that little save icon. So at some point you were in the middle of building a transaction request or a print request. Any that you have saved will show up right here at the top when you logged in. So if I come up here and click that, this is one I had started earlier before our call. I continue. I can then pick right up where I left off. I'm going to jump into the print marketing piece for the next one. So what we've done is, again, in the idea of getting us started, we have, working with your team, created 3 distinct packages for print marketing. Scroll down a little bit so you can see them. Each package contains a postcard and a brochure. So the first package, all three packages include 8.5 by 5.5 postcards. Those are by far the most popular postcards that we produce for agents, actually across the country for all the agents we work with. They have the best response and the best value for what you're getting. We have three different brochures. We have an 8.5 by 11 brochure, and I'll show you, there's PDFs that go with these. An 8.5 by 11 4-page brochure. So think of it that what that is an 11 by 17 piece of paper folded in half. So you wind up with an 8.5 by 11 finished size 4-page brochure. We have an 8.5 by 11 2-page brochure, and we have an 8.5 by 14 that is a 6-page, folds into 3 different panels as a brochure. Bridget had mentioned about your awards banquet earlier this year. There were actually samples of these 3 pieces that we, I think, initially did for Donna Hardy. That's the same basic layout for all 3 of those pieces. We're also producing some sample kits for all you guys as well. That'll include physical samples of these items. As you look at the descriptions, so there's 2 distinct pieces of this. There is the marketing coordination on your side and the print production on my side. So for the coordination, your agent account will get charged $20 for the creation of one of those 3 packages. That's getting the images, that is putting the content, coordinating the mailing list, and then Prism will actually be providing the print portion of that. So if we look, the pricing is all here. So the postcards are 65 cents a piece. That includes print and postage. And for this first set of brochures, 25 to 50 are $1.83, and then the price per unit goes down depending on the quantity that you get. We have a free shipping policy that if your order is $55 or higher for a non-mailed item, so for example, a brochure, then there is no shipping. So on this 11 by 17 4-page brochure, if you order 35 of those, there is no shipping charge. From a delivery standpoint, brochures that are ordered by 2 o'clock Monday through Thursday are printed and mailed, Monday through Friday are printed and mailed that same day. So that means that if you order a print package and approve it, and you've approved the proof and the order's placed by 10 o'clock on a Monday, we're actually going to produce it that night, ship it that night. Because I'm shipping out of New Jersey, ground shipping into Maryland on the Eastern Shore is actually 1 day with regular ground shipping. So for this first brochure, if you ordered 35 of those Monday morning, you'll have them in your hand Tuesday and not pay anything for shipping. Postcards are printed and mailed the next day. Anywhere you see a description of any of these pieces, these are actually hyperlinks. So if I go and click on this, it'll give you a larger version of what that postcard is going to look like. And there's links for each one of these items. So if I click on like this 8.5 by 11 brochure, and this is actually, I believe, the one we did for Donna Hardy. So you get an idea of what those brochures look like. So here we're going to ask essentially all the information that the agent, or excuse me, that the marketing coordinator, Dawn, is going to need to build these pieces for you. What makes this system a little easier to use, this process, is that Bridget has created a organization-wide Dropbox account. Each agent has their own folder inside of that Dropbox account. So when your marketing coordinator goes to build these various print pieces, the coordinator has admin access, will be able to go to Agent John Smith's account under Dropbox, 123 Any Street, and the photos will be there for them to use for the marketing piece. So as you go forward with photography, we're going to ask your photographers to place the photographs for your properties into that Dropbox folder structure, and it allows the marketing coordinator to get to them easy. We're going to pick on 123 Any Street again. Which print package you're looking for? The property address. Oops. There we go. The listing type. Text on the front of the postcard. So you've seen, I popped up the thumbnail. So this can be as verbatim or not verbatim as you like. So for example, if you know exactly what you want to put on the front of that postcard, you can certainly provide that information to Dawn. Or you can give her some instructions on here. Say just listed. Or won't last, or new to market. So essentially the instructions you want to give to Dawn, or you can say, I trust you, come up with something that sounds awesome. Any additional information here that you want to give her? Again, if you don't have this information, it's not required. I walked through a postcard with one of your agents, I think Monday of this week. And again, if you have the information, it can populate. If you don't, that's fine too. If you have the same sort of verbiage that you use on all your just listed marketing, or you can just ask Dawn to use copy from MLS. If you've already written the copy from MLS, you want to use that again. Descriptions of the photos to use. So again, remember I mentioned that with the centralized Dropbox, Dawn will be able to get to your photos for each one of these listings. So any way that you can describe which photos that you want to use to Dawn, whether it's the actual photo name, if it's outside.jpg, or you can say use photo of pier and front of house, use main bedroom photo. So whatever descriptions you want to use to Dawn knows the photos you want to put. Description of the mailing list. So what is different about your market on the Eastern Shore versus, for example, some of the other markets I serve, whether it's in New Jersey or South Central PA, when I do a mailing for someone here, let's say in South Central Pennsylvania for a listing or a just sold, the majority of the agents will actually mail to the physical addresses around that property. What's different for you is that the physical addresses around that property, the owners may not, most likely do not live there. So traditionally in your market, you're using tax data to mail to the owners of the properties surrounding that area. And so Dawn is going to go into Bright and secure your mailing list. So for example, owners in Tiburon. So if you want to mail to all the owners in that building, as an it could be owners in Sea-Watch, or you can put owners, and I'm just trying to give you examples of ways you can describe your mailing list. Owners within half-mile radius, because Bright's tax data tool does have a mapping tool, so you can actually build radiuses. So a description of who you want Dawn to collect the mailing data from once she's in Bright. If you also have a sphere of influence list, so I have a lot of agents that will include their SOI in all of their just listed mailings. So the way my system works, it doesn't have to be all of one or all of the other. So I can say owners in Tiburon and my SOI list. If you have your SOI list can get uploaded to your account one time, and then it'll always be there available for you or for whoever else in the office that you're requesting to create marketing services for you. If you have an SOI list, that very first time you will have to send that to Dawn, or you can send it to me and we'll upload it into your account. And then from that point forward, it'll always be available to use. Copy this. So this was for the postcard. We're going to ask the same sort of questions for the brochure. Which photos do you want to use? What do you want the brochure to say? How many you're looking for? Again, remember, I always show you how many brochures for each one of these you will qualify for free shipping. So let's just say 35. And any additional information. So if you're not sure which photo will look best, I know long before this program, I know Dawn, for example, has worked with a lot of agents individually to build some of their marketing pieces, and she's very talented at that. So if you'd like her opinion prior to just telling her which photos to use, this is your opportunity to reach out and have share some additional information, ask additional questions. From here, the process looks the same as what we just did for the transaction services. Now, what will happen is once you've placed this order, the marketing coordinator will log in to your account. So the marketing coordinators are set up on our system as what are called site administrators. So if I'm placing this request to Dawn, Dawn will go into her menu, log in as Rob. When she does that, my contact information, my profile photo, everything is there. We've already set up all your accounts for you. She'll then begin building those marketing pieces for you. Once she gets the piece built, she has a link to click that will send you a proof. So you will have the opportunity to approve anything that she's designed prior to getting ordered. Once you approve that proof, back to Dawn, she'll place the order in my system on your behalf. At that point, your credit card will be charged for the print materials and the mailing services bundled as one. The internal marketing coordinator fee, that'll be billed to your agent account. I'm not processing that transaction. So you only be billed by me for the print portion of that when and after you've approved the print piece. Dawn's got the approval and she hits go.
And Rob, if I can kind of just chime in here, I don't know if anyone was, when Rob was back at the beginning, when he was hovered over like the package A, B, and C, one of the things that obviously I was really cognizant and sensitive to, and trying to look after everyone's pocketbook, but at the same time also there's that balance, right? Everybody wants a nice looking piece and you want quality piece, yet you don't want to necessarily overpay. And so, as I think I've shared a couple different times today, what I was really looking for was good, an easy method to be able to request it, a system that was responsive, fast turnaround, and cost effective. So for example, I think it was package letter B, which was
I'm
just
going back
a
in.
two-sided kind of front and back 8.5 by 11 glossy, what I'll call brochure. It's on cover stock, so it's not just a typical copy paper. I mean, it's card stock, 8.5 by 11, and then the postcard. If you were to mail out 100 postcards and do say 51 of that 8.5 by 11, you'd be at $108. So pretty affordable, I think, from the standpoint of getting two pieces, not just one, but you get the brochure and you get it mailed to you immediately the next day, and the postcard goes out the next day. And also, given the fact that, right, someone on our team is going to be doing the coordinating and pulling the mailing list and just and kind of laying it out for you, and all really trying, communicating with you just on the proofing side of it, trying to keep that fee very reasonable. So really, it just worked out to be what I'll call $10 for the postcard, $10 for the brochure. So just trying to keep it really cost effective all the way around. If you all don't use the service, then you're not finding it beneficial. So we really tried to just try to make sure that we were covering kind of costs on our end, but also really providing something for you that you would find helpful for you and your business.
And just to follow up on that, Bridget, my office offers this same sort of coordination service as well. And just to be 100% clear and honest with your folks, if you were to procure these services through one of my folks, it's $35 per print piece. So if you were to have someone in my office do it, it'd be $70 to do to lay out a postcard for you and lay out a brochure for you. So this is, I think, an exceptional bargain that you're providing these agency services. So there's my 2 cents.
Oh, yeah, to rethink that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to rethink that.
So let me jump back to the main screen here for a moment. We give you these nice warnings. If you haven't hit save, this is your last chance, I'm sure. The bundle is essentially transaction services, and I won't go through this because you've seen both pieces of this. Instead of just asking either the singular print questions or the singular transaction questions, we'll go through and we'll essentially collect everything that we need for transaction information, and then we'll collect what we need for the print piece. So if you're really looking for a hands-off solution that allows you to get your listing created, that information, the transaction information done, and get it marketed, you can come in and get all that done. If you have this information handy, we tested this ourselves and did the full, let's call it concierge type service, this full listing and transaction services, and you have your information done, you're less than 10 minutes to do both transaction and print marketing requests all in one time, and then you're done. If you have all your information. So it's a fairly quick process to come in and get that done. The last thing I want to show you is special request. So, for example, as Bridget mentioned, there's some folks in Maryland I've worked with already. There are some folks that have some custom collateral that they've had designed. I know there's one person on the call. There's somebody I spoke with earlier this past week. They were working with some custom collateral that say that you do want to have these services executed for you, but you want something that's not in one of those defined packages. That's why we had this special request. And so it's just a text field that if it is, I want to do a print marketing package for 123 Annie Street, but please use my custom postcard and my custom brochure that are already in my account. The marketing coordinators, since they are set up as site admins, they will have access to any custom collateral you've had in your account. So the only people that have access to agent-specific things are the agent themselves and anybody we designate as a site administrator. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye on this and run reports on the special requests because there are lots of other postcards. So, for example, on our main site, there are pages and pages and pages of postcards. And if agents really want to build things themselves, you have access to this site as well. It's the same username and password and everything else. But if we see lots of requests for this postcard, for example, in special requests, then we'll work with Bridget and your team, and we'll add that into another package as we go. There's another print, one of the brochures that we have right now, we're in the process of converting that to a print piece, so that can come up as a package. So we're going to keep an eye on these special requests, and the idea is not to restrict you, but to make it easier. And so that's why we create these packages. But we'll keep an eye on those special requests as well, and be able to expand this process as we go.
Rob, if someone were to go through that, what I'll call that self-service site, would they be, how much is your sort of design team being involved? I mean, meaning going back earlier to that, say, design fee, is that in place at that point if they're kind of going through the self-service portal where they're designing it and building it, or only if they contact a designer and say, can you put all of this together for me?
Only if they contact a designer. So my portal is designed to be a self-service portal. So if you come in and you pick a postcard, at that point, you're going to upload your own photos. You're going to write your own text. You're going to upload your own mail list. And then there's no service fee. It's just the cost of the print.
Okay.
And the mailing services.
Yeah, and I'm sure that there are agents that we have in both market centers. I'm sure there are some that really like to go in and do this, and they've become pretty efficient and proficient at doing it. However, I would say there's also a large number of folks that would prefer not to have to do that, because many would say, you know, right, I just want to sell real estate. I need to, that's really where my, you know, that this would be, I'd be much happier to have somebody else do it for $10 or whatever it is, than for me to spin my wheels trying to design it and wasting hours trying to build it when somebody else can maybe do it more efficiently. So.
Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, I'm a shade tree electrician, and I can fix things in my house, but that's not what I'm best at. That's not what I make money at. I'm going to hire an electrician to do the electrical work, and I'm going to be here talking to you folks because that's where I make money. As I mentioned, I'm going to send out an email later on this evening that's going to have the link and everyone's username and password. All of my contact information will be in that email as well. So from a technical support standpoint, I have some great folks in my main office, and they're probably nicer than I am, but for the first few days, you're definitely stuck with me. I want to have any issues that you have getting in, or something's not looking right on your screen, or any problems. I want you to reach out directly to me. I'm invested in this as much as everyone is. My customer support staff will always be there as well. The other thing I've mentioned to Bridget and some of the other team members is, under normal circumstances, I'm in your area once a week. Actually, I'm going to be down there tomorrow anyway, because I'm tired of being quarantined. I've got some folks that are willing to talk to me, so I'll be down there tomorrow. So, you know, if there are samples or other things that you'd like, or you just want to sit with me, you have questions, certainly reach out to me. You'll have my contact information, and we can meet in person as long as you're comfortable with that. And once we get some of the virus mess behind us, I usually spend at least one entire day there, like I said, every week. I think that pretty much covers what I had. I'd be willing to bet that there might be some questions. So if you want to open up the floor, Bridget, for some questions, I'm ready.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks very much, Rob. Appreciate it. Does anyone have a question either for Rob or myself, or even Tracy for that matter, about what you saw or the process? Wow. That means you did a great job.
Oh my goodness. Or everyone's asleep. It could go either way.
We tried to keep it short so that we didn't lose people. But I think it was, we've worked hard, and Rob and his team, certainly worked on this the most, and Tracy, and then Dawn, obviously most recently, trying to keep it pretty simple. Really trying to just get the pertinent information from you so that we can at least just get started and get going on it. And we've been obviously back and forth. We had released this to our leadership team a week ago, and then they made some tweaks to it, and then we kind of felt like it was ready to be able to now roll out to our agents so that we can at least get this going. Because this is, I think, when things have already started to kind of lift and lighten here and there. We're starting to feel some relief here and there, and I wanted to make sure that you all had tools ready so that when you wanted either transaction services, marketing services, you knew where to go, and that we were there to help you affordably. All right. Well, if nobody has anything, obviously you're going to get an email from Rob today, and he's going to give you the information as to where to go to this site with your login information. And you can always reach out to any one of us, myself, Tracy, or Dawn. Are you, well, I guess you don't really need to include that email, but nevertheless. So Tracy, myself, Dawn, Rex Road. If you've got any other questions for us, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be happy to do any more, follow up or answer any other questions you all have. Okay. Thank you. Much appreciated.
Awesome. Thank you all very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.